shift of weight, just see if you can feel the weight shifts on the foot, the front, the back, the outside, inside, the front, back, the outside, the inside. At the same time, your upper body is turning. Because when you put that weight on that foot, you want to turn that way. Now, what we're going to do, doing this, we're going to bring the hands up in front of us. Okay, it's important to keep the hands even, okay? But also keep the shoulders down. Lots of times when we tell people to raise their hands, they come up and the shoulders come up. But in Tai Chi, everything is the least amount of tension and effort that you can do. So we want to keep those shoulders down and relaxed. And now I'd like you to try that figure 8 again. Just back and forth. You can go at your own speed, whatever's comfortable for you. You can go shoulders relaxed. Now look what's happening to the hands. They are also drawing a figure 8. And then from this movement, what I'd like you to do is just drop one hand slightly and then bring it up. Drop the other hand. So we're just switching at the sides. And this is a movement called waving hands in cloud. If you think about it, you're really feeling the movement. You can feel as you turn and start to come back, that other hand wants to come up. Least amount of effort. Just let it come up. So also in Tai Chi, we want to make things smooth. Things are slow, and we just let them flow. And let's bring it back into the center. Okay, so that was waving hands in cloud. That is a movement that's used in quite a few of the forms that I do anyway. This was Yang style. If any of you have done Tai Chi in the past, Sun style sometimes has the hands facing out, but it is the same thing. Exact same thing that we're doing, but the hands are facing out rather than in. So it just depends on what style you're going to be doing. All right, let's go back to that bow stance. So one foot is in front, one foot, the back foot is turned out slightly, about at a 45-degree angle there. And we did that shift forward and back. So just feeling that shift forward and back. Now what happens lots of times, and I'm going to turn to the side so you can see, lots of times when we're doing movements that we shift our weight forward, people tend to lean forward. But as we talked before, we still have that golden cord here. So our head, or the crown of our head, is still up to the ceiling. So just try rocking back and forth, and the only thing moving really are the legs. Everybody's not moving at all. Now we're going to try a little movement with this. Going to push the waves. You push as you come forward. Again, don't lean forward. Turn the palms up and draw it back. And push. Draw it back. Feel the flow. Nice. Now let's switch our bow stance to the other leg. So the other foot comes in front. And we'll do that push. And draw back. It's just that shift of weight. Arms aren't doing very much. Basically, the hands are turning over. My elbows don't bend very much. A couple more. And then bring it in. Okay, what I'd like to do now are the fundamentals, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to get rid of this box message up here so I can see you. We're going to do the fundamentals that we do for Tai Chi Vermont. We have these fundamental exercises. Basically, they can be considered warm-ups before we get into a form that we're going to be doing. But we realize that these fundamentals that we're doing are all Qigong movements, and we can do them as a warm-up or we can do them as Qigong. And so let's think about it as Qigong and not just a warm-up. When we think about warming up, people want to get through the warm-ups really quickly to get to the form. If you think of this as Qigong, then you're really concentrating on that movement that we're doing at that moment. I'm going to talk a little bit about these movements as we do them, because they all incorporate the principles of Tai Chi, the weight transference, the shifting back and forth, the alignment, the stepping. There's a lot of different things that are incorporated in these fundamental movements. So we're just going to start and be careful with this. If you have any back issues, then you want to keep this really small. But we're just going to call it swinging, but we're not swinging the arms. Feet are about shoulder width apart, and all we're doing is shifting weight and turning. But our arms are loose at our side, so the arms want to move. And the more you shift, the more the hands move. Release the heel on the opposite leg so that you can turn a little bit more. And just let the arms fall where they may. What's not about the arms, about the weight shift and the core turn. Think about your alignment. Swing this. Again, it's hard if you're trying to watch me on the screen, but I want to talk about that alignment a little bit. So I mentioned the alignment up and down, okay, but also there's 3 dantians. There's a dantian here, in our third eye, there's a dantian here, and there's a dantian here, right? Energy storage vessel here. So we want to keep those 3 points in alignment. So in other words, I'm not going to be swinging and turning my head and turning my body, because then I'm not in alignment and you could hurt your back that way. So if you keep this alignment as you're turning, keep the belly button in line with your nose. So when we swing, let's just start swinging again and thinking about the belly button to the nose, all in one line. Just let the arms flop. And let's bring it in. Next we do, it's an open and close of the hands. Sometimes people like to move the legs around. You certainly can do that. And one of my Tai Chi fellows calls it smiley eyes because everybody smiles when they do this. You know, we actually walk around the room and say hello to everybody. So it's a greeting in a way, but yet we're still moving around. And just bringing the feet in about shoulder width apart and taking the hands and in your imagination, you're opening and closing. You want to feel the center of your hand, feel it pulsing, and you're activating those energy chakra points right there in the palms of your hands. And as you do this, you might feel them getting a little warmer. Some people feel them tingling. So it's just fun to play with. I really love this feeling of getting this energy going. And now just bring the hands together, facing each other, and do the same thing, just pulse. Pulse the center of your hands. You might feel it a little bit more because now they are talking to each other, basically. Hands, the energy is reacting to each other. And feel it a little bit more. Okay, hands coming down to the side. We're going to work the neck for two exercises, different exercises. The first one, the arms come up and you inhale. And tuck the chin in. As you exhale, arms come out, inhale. And drop the chin to your chest. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Lower your chin. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Second exercise for the neck. Bring your hands up. You're going to drop one hand, the palm faces you with the other. And you're going to open those arms up and you turn your head to follow the palm. And then bring it back in again. Switch your hands. Go out to the other side. In. As you go out and open that chest up, you inhale. Exhale as you come back in. And maybe just a little bit further with the head turn. This will be our last one. Bringing the arms down at your side, rolling the shoulders forward. Now let's roll them back. Second shoulder exercise, the hands come up. We did this before, inhaling, and then you press the chi down, exhale. It's a chance to take a nice deep breath. And exhale. See if you can make sure that your belly extends out as you inhale. Let it push out as you exhale, let it relax. One more. Now this is something that we talk about in the classes is that type of breathing can be considered a Dantian breathing or a Tai Chi breathing, a yoga breathing, a diaphragmatic breathing. There's lots of different terms for it. But what we wanted our abdomen to do is to extend as we inhale and then relax as we exhale. So if you put one hand on your chest and one hand on your abdomen, take a deep breath in and see if you can feel that belly come out. Exhale and let it relax. Again. So that's the kind of breathing we want to try to get to. It's not the kind of breathing we're used to doing. In the Western world, we use the top lobes of our lungs more than we use the lower lobes, and we really need to start using the entire lung if we can. And what's happening is we're pushing down on the diaphragm, and that's what's making the abdomen extend a little bit. Also, by doing that, by pushing down on the diaphragm, we are actually massaging organs. So it's very good for us to do that kind of breathing. One of the breathing methods that my trainer was doing, and it was very interesting, and you might want to try it. We're not going to do it today, but you might want to try it, is thinking about you have a tire or an inner tube around your belly, and you need to inflate it. So all the way around, not just the belly, you can actually feel the back extend at the same time. It takes a little practice to get there, but it's something you can play with at home. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to do is for the spine. So we're holding the ball in front of us. The bottom hand is going to come up and flip up, palm up, push up and push down. And as you do this, try to open up that spine. Try to create a little space between the vertebrae. Bring it back down, and then try it again. Inhaling as we come up, and exhaling as we inhale. And on each side. Again, keeping that alignment, so we're not leaning to the side, we're going straight up and down. Bring it back in. Holding the ball again. Widen your stance a little bit if you want to. We're going to do the second spine exercise. You're going to take that ball and you're going to bring it out to the knee. Flip it over. Bring it back to the other knee. Flip it over. So side to side. But again, keeping that alignment from your nose to your belly button. So if you think about that alignment, you can't go any further than your knee, or you'll be out of alignment. Now let's bring it back into the center. We're going to shift gears a little bit here because now we're going to work on the lower body. So this is where you might want a chair next to you. But what we're going to be doing is shifting and sinking into one leg. So make sure you sink, and then you can move the other leg and touch the heel in front. The hands push back, and then we bring the foot back, and the hands come forward. And this is for the hip, front and back. Out. Now place that foot down, shift your weight and sink into that foot. Now we start the other foot. So usually we try to exhale as we go forward and inhale as you go back, but whatever works for you. Okay. Arms are really just for counterbalance. They have no other purpose except for helping to balance. So now we do our second hip exercise. Now this one we want to take it out to the side. So try to keep that foot somewhat forward. Yes, it will turn out a little bit for comfort, but we don't want to point the toe to the side wall. We want to just take it out to the side. What we're going to do is we're going to sink and push. Sinking into the leg that the side that you're pushing to, then you take that other foot out and you can sink a little bit more. Bring that foot in. Go to the other side, sink. Leg goes out. Change. one of my co-instructors likes to say with the arms here, that as you swing the hands down and back up again, she's cleaning out her walk. Want to clean the walk and then put it away. The walk. Okay, we're going to move to the knees, making soft fists with your hands. Never squeeze the hands because that creates tension. So just keep them loose. You can actually see through them. Keep them loose down at your hips. Again, we need to sink. So here's that weight transference I was talking about. Sink. And then we're going to lift the knee up and touch. Now, again, if you need to hold on to a chair, don't worry about the hands. Just worry about the shifting of weight, sinking into it. Lift the knee and touch. And shift and sink. People tend to want to rush this, so I tell them to place the foot with no weight. Then you shift and sink. And then you lift and touch. Bring it back, but no weight. Last one. Second knee exercise. We're going to bring it forward. This time, same motion with the hands, bring it back. And I mentioned that we place the foot, we shift the weight. We shift the weight back, and then we pick the foot up. Place the foot, shift the weight. Back. Place the foot, shift the weight. This will be our last one. Okay, are you remembering your alignment? Still got that golden cord, so we're not leaning into this. Now we're going to go to the ankles. I just put the hands on the dantian, doesn't matter. And you're going to touch the heel and then the toe. And what we're trying to do here is get a full range of motion in our ankles. So just play with that a little bit. Again, you can hang on to a chair if you need to. Sink. And then we go to the other foot. Heel and toe. Then hands behind you. Now lift up onto the balls of the feet. Bring them back down. Up, back down. Chair comes in handy here as well. And relax. Now just shake everything out. There's a few more exercises we can do, but I think we're running out of time. Myra, do we have time for questions now, or?
If you want to do a few more, we've still got 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. I thought you told me 45. Okay.
Well,
Right.
I mean, if people would rather go ahead and do this, that would be great. I'm enjoying it. If I don't see any questions yet, but if people want to pop questions, but I see people moving, so.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. I think, well, one of the things that we do is the next thing, and lots of times we don't introduce this to beginners yet. Okay, and this is just a single leg stance. Now, we've found that single leg stands, not we, but the research has found that the single leg stands is one of the best things you can do for balance. So we've added this into our movements. And so you can do anything you want with your hands. And there's a couple of things, the little tricks that can help you balance. You don't need to lift the knee up very high, first of all. So just be careful, go as high as you want to. Now, I'm lifting the same arm and leg. This might be a little bit harder than lifting opposites. Try lifting opposite arm and leg, and it gets you a little more counterbalanced. And then there's another way that if you can imagine your hands on a table, stabilizing you when you do this. Sometimes that can help you with your balance. And we do this a few times. And then, we make it a little bit harder by holding it up a little bit longer. So, we're just trying to get that balance point, finding where we can sink into that leg first and then lift the leg up. So many times we're in a hurry and we lift and we move around too quickly, and that's when we start getting ourselves in trouble. I'd like to just do a movement from the Falls Prevention program, and it's the first movement, just so you get some idea of what the movements are. You already did waving hands, which was good. Waving hands in the Tai Chi program actually has stepping with it. We didn't do it with stepping, we just did it with weight shoes, but that's a great start. So this first one is called commencement form, and basically you're just going to bring the hands up and bring them back down. And when we do that, we want to inhale, let them float up, and let them float back down. So that's the first part of it. The next part, and I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. So the hands came up, and then they came down, but when they came down, now I'm going to circle and bring them back out again. So if you think about it, I brought the hands up, and now I start my circle. So I'm going to circle going down and back up again. Just a circle motion here. Circle motion. So let's put the hands together. So up. And now we start that circle, going down, and then back out again. We're going to take a step with this as well. So the step what we're going to take is your left foot comes forward first. I will do my opposite foot so it looks like I'm doing it. So you come up, and as you come down, you're going to sink into your right foot. And then you step forward with your left, and then you come forward, bring the other foot up. Now, we need to incorporate all of those principles we just talked about. Placing the foot, then shifting the weight, then lifting the other foot. So let's just examine the feet here without the hands. Okay, so you're going to shift your weight and sink. The foot comes forward, no weight on it. Then you're going to shift your weight forward and sink. The other foot comes up next to it, and then you can center your weight. That one more time. Shift and sink. Left foot forward. Shift, sink. Right foot comes up and center. So the movement together is the arms come up, inhaling. As you come down, you're going to sink. And then as you come forward, the foot comes forward, shifting the weight. The other foot comes forward, and then you settle in the middle. So that's commencement form. We'll do it one more time. So hands up. And down, sink. Left foot forward. Shift. Right foot, center. Bend. Okay. The next movement in this particular form is a Qigong breath, and we've already talked about the breath, so I guess we could move on to this as well. So we talked about that deep breath, bringing it into the lower lobes of the lungs. You can kind of imagine the breath coming down and turning and circling back up again as you do the breathing. There's no stepping on this, so it's pretty easy. We just ended out here, so you're going to bring the fingertips up to the ceiling. They're still about 6 inches away from your chest. And then you're going to take a breath, inhale, and exhale. Only one breath there, but let's just play with this movement for a bit. So as we inhale, what happens to the hands? They open up a little bit, don't they? You can feel them open a little bit because your chest is opening. So the hands move apart just a little bit and then they come back in again as you exhale. So here is where we want to concentrate on that breath, but also thinking about the chakra points in your palms. So as they pull apart and as they push together, you can feel that energy between your palms. So let's try it one more time. So inhale and exhale. Bring the hands down. We're going to put those movements together one time and then we'll take questions. Okay, so here we go, standing in our Wuji position, crown of the head to the ceiling, shoulders down and relaxed, the tailbone is down, knees are soft, gaze is soft, ankles are soft, and you're feeling very grounded. And begin. Up in here. Look down. Forward in that circular motion, right foot, left foot comes forward, right foot comes up, center your weight, fingertips come up, inhale, exhale, and we'll close.